In this video, we are going to talk about the top 10 NFL teams ever. So before starting, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for future updates. The current NFL began in 1920, and since then, many iconic teams have come and gone. Some are better than others. Top 10 NFL teams. Number 10. The 2007 New England Patriots, 18-1 overall, head coach, Bill Belichick. Fans remember this team for what they didn't do. David Tyree's helmet catch made the 18-1 Patriots the best team that never was. If this squad had beaten the Giants in Super Bowl 42, they'd be first. Randy Moss' arrival on offense helped Tom Brady have the finest season by a quarterback in NFL history, 4,808 yards passing and 50 touchdowns, before Peyton Manning broke his records with the Broncos. The Patriots wanted to strengthen a depleted receiving corps after trading Deion Branch to Seattle for a first-round choice. Belichick turned his receiving corps into a league powerhouse. The team got Wes Welker, who went from being a Dolphins backup to probably the best slot receiver ever. Then they signed Moss and former first-round pick Dante Stallworth to make rival defenses nervous. Brady's king-like offense smashed the opponents into the mud. New England's first 8 opponents were outscored 204-76. During this stretch, the team defeated Super Bowl favorites Dallas 48-27 and the Washington Redskins 52-7. The team was scarcely tested and ran through the regular season and playoffs before losing 17-14 in the Super Bowl. The team was one win shy of matching the 1972 Miami Dolphins as the only unbeaten Super Bowl teams. They would have easily surpassed them, having played 4 more games. Since they didn't win the Super Bowl, this is as high as I can rank them, and they're the only team on this list without a title. Number 9. The 1950 Cleveland Browns, 12-2 overall, head coach, Paul Brown. The 1950 Cleveland Browns were a forerunner. 4-time defending champion Browns dominated the All-American Football Conference, AFC, before joining the NFL. NFL Commissioner Bert Bell wanted to prove the league's superiority by scheduling the Browns against the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles. They thought the NFL would prove their point by crushing the Browns, but they were wrong. Cleveland beat Philadelphia 35-10. Otto Graham passed for 346 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Eagles. As a result, Philly coach Earl Greasy Neal bemoaned the Browns' inability to win in the trenches. 2 months later in Cleveland, the normally stoic Brown decided to be the pettiest person alive and not pass the ball once. They ran 41 times and won 13-7. On a Lou Groza field goal with 16 seconds left in the 1950 NFL Championship game, the Browns won 30-28, cementing their position in NFL history as one of the best teams ever. Cleveland made news for having Marion Motley and Bill Willis on their roster when racism was still semi-prevalent in the league despite the color barrier being abolished in 1946. This team was dominant from the moment they entered the league. This crew deserves recognition for its efforts. Number 8. The 1992 Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys bounced back from a 1-15 season courtesy to Herschel Walker's draft decisions. With those picks and others, they built a squad with Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin. The triplets would lead one of the best offensive teams to the Super Bowl. The Cowboys beat divisional foe Philadelphia 34-10, Steve Young and the San Francisco 49ers 30-20, and the Buffalo Bills 52-17 in the Super Bowl. This squad qualifies by beating Buffalo in the Super Bowl, who had 7 Hall of Famers, including head coach Marv Levy. The Cowboys weren't flashy, they just won games. Number 7. The 1998 Denver Broncos. After beating Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl the year before, Denver soared. The Broncos' offense, led by future Hall of Famers John Elway, Terrell Davis, and Shannon Sharpe, blew past practically everyone. Davis became one of few NFL running backs to rush for over 2,000 yards in a season, and Elway won his second title. The squad finished 14-2, then beat Miami 38-3 in the divisional round, the Jets in the AFC Championship game, and the Falcons 34-19 in Atlanta to win the Super Bowl. This squad makes it because it locks the Broncos as the late 90s club, and their offensive was unsurpassed. They boasted 3 Hall of Famers and a bevy of Pro Bowlers, propelling them to the second-ranked offense behind the Minnesota Vikings, who were beaten by the Falcons in the NFC Championship. Number 6. The 1976 Oakland Raiders. Some may debate this selection, but the 1976 Oakland Raiders are a squad that is often forgotten, despite their dominance. The Raiders were a dominant club in the shadow of the Steelers, who some consider the best NFL dynasty ever. Oakland's offensive line blasted people courtesy to Art Shell and Gene Upshaw, while Ken Stabler commanded an offensive that included Cliff Branch, Dave Casper, and Fred Biletnikoff. As good defensively, Ted Hendricks and Willie Hall led a violent defense. Defender Jack Tatum punched someone so hard that he paralyzed Dolphins receiver Darryl Stingley, not during the 1976 season, but he was a hard hitter his entire career. The Raiders also boasted the best punter in NFL history in Ray Guy, who provided them good field position almost every time he punted. The squad beat the Steelers 24-7 in the AFC title game, then beat Minnesota 32-14 for the title. Number 5. The 1962 Green Bay Packers. This is Vince Lombardi's 1960s Packers dynasty. The squad was filled with Hall of Famers and was one of the most balanced ever. Jim Taylor topped the league in rushing with about 1,500 yards and 19 touchdowns, the only season Jim Brown didn't lead the league in his 9-year career. Lombardi's team only allowed 11 points a game while scoring the most points in the league courtesy to Taylor, Hall of Famers Bart Starr and Paul Hornung, the league MVP the year before. The club won the NFL title by defeating the Giants 16-7. Number 4. The 1978 Pittsburgh Steelers. The 1978 Steelers were the greatest of the 1970s dynasty. Pittsburgh won 2 Super Bowls in 1974 and 1975 and wanted a third in 1976 and 1977. Terry Bradshaw led the squad to the Super Bowl with wins against the Houston Oilers and Denver Broncos. The Steelers beat the Tom Landry-led Dallas Cowboys, who had many Hall of Famers including Roger Staubach. This was the Steel Curtain defense at its best, and this team was unstoppable. Number 3. The 1989 San Francisco 49ers. Like the 1978 Steelers, the 1989 San Francisco 49ers were a powerhouse squad. George Seifert's team was unbeatable despite Bill Walsh's absence. Joe Montana led an offensive juggernaut with Jerry Rice. All-Pro Roger Craig in the backfield was a dual threat in the rushing and passing games, and Charles Haley and Ronnie Lott led a star-studded defense. Their playoff run led to the Super Bowl, where they crushed a very good Denver Broncos squad with John Elway 55-10, the greatest Super Bowl blowout ever. Number 2. The 1972 Miami Dolphins. The 1972 Miami Dolphins are the only team to win the Super Bowl without losing a game. The club won despite losing Hall of Famer Bob Grice for most of the season with a fractured leg. They were the first team to feature 2 1,000-yard rushers, Larry Czonka and Mercury Morris, and had the no-name defense, one of the strongest in Super Bowl history. Despite an undefeated regular season, the Dolphins were underdogs in the Super Bowl against the Redskins, but they won 14-7. Since the 1972 Dolphins, no team has finished an unbeaten season and won the Super Bowl. Number 1. The 1985 Chicago Bears. Who would win in a fight? Mike Ditka or the undefeated Dolphins? It is hard to beat perfection, but the 1985 Chicago Bears stand alone as the best team of all time because they were so far ahead of their time that they literally invented a defensive scheme. The 46 defense dominated everyone in their path other than one hiccup against Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins. The team was filled with personalities like quarterback Jim McMahon and William the Fridge Perry, and not only one, but one in style. When you combine one of the best defenses ever, with Hall of Fame running back Walter Payton, you get 3 things: a title, the Super Bowl Shuffle, and one of the best Saturday Night Live skits of all time, DA Bears. The Bears had probably the greatest run in playoff history. They shut out their first 2 opponents in the playoffs, and then smashed the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl 46-10, which was the record for a biggest blowout until the 49ers broke that record a few years later. When you make a legendary defense, have polarizing figures on the team combined with multiple Hall of Famers, and outscore your opponents 91-10 in the playoffs, you stand alone at the top of the football world. What do you think about our video? Let us know in the comment box below. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. Thank you.